Hello students, how are you? Welcome back. Today in this video we are going to see very important topic from the database management system, that is referential integrity constraints. So let's start. So referential integrity constraints are nothing but the integrity constraints which are defined as a part of an association between the two entity types. I hope you know the concept of entity type. The relational table having rows and column, we gave the name to the table. That name is nothing but the entity type. This is another description that referential integrity constraints is specified between two tables. If the two relational tables are available, so this referential integrity constraint is in between these two tables. So in the referential integrity constraints, if a foreign key in a table 1 refers to the primary key of the table 2, then every value of the foreign key in the table 1 must be null or be available in table 2. It means that table 1 should be the subset of table 2 always. Means table 2 having the primary key and table 1 is referring that primary key. That primary key becomes foreign key for the table 1 and the same key is remaining for table 2 as a primary key. Got it? So what is foreign key then? Once take look out of the foreign key also. It is the key which establishes the relationship between two tables. So how? Let's see. Suppose this is the table 1 and this is the table 2. Table 2 is having this primary key. This is the primary key of table 2. And this is the table 1 which has D number 1 attribute. This is as a foreign key. It means D number 1 for table 2 is primary key and for table 1 D number is the foreign key. You can see here this is the primary key, and let's take one look out that the previous statement. In the referential integrity constraint, if a foreign key in a table 1 refers to the primary key of the table 2, similar condition, similar situation as I just explained, then every value of the foreign key in a table 1 must be null or be available in table 2. What this saying? Table 1 may be null, but there should not be such a value that should not be in a table 2. If you seen, whenever we learn primary key should never be null. Primary key should not null. But here in case of foreign key, it may null, but it doesn't have such a value which doesn't exist in the primary key of the table 2. This is very important concept about the foreign key. So what is foreign key? The primary key of the table is we are using for the another table, because this table has not such unique value for independently. That's why we borrow the key from another table, so that key becomes for table 1 is nothing but the foreign key, and foreign key should be null. But there should not be such value who is not present in a primary key. Here the notion of this whole explanation is that we should have to talk about such a person, those are in the existence. So those persons are not in existence on the earth, so don't talk about them. So this is the notion. What about notion? If the person is in existence on the earth, then and then only you have to talk about them in the foreign key. So here what they said, not allowed as D number, this column 18 not defined as a primary key of the table 2, and in table 1 D number 1 is a foreign key defined. So this is not allowed here because this is not defined, this is not exist in primary key. So how we could use it? so it must be null here. Okay, so I hope you understood the what is foreign key also and what is entity type also during the referential integrity constraints. So move. So let's understood with these example. You can see here referential integrity constraints. So this is the employee entity type of this relational table. These three are the attribute. You are going to see this is the primary key of the employee table, and these are the employee names, and this is the project manager, that is short form I have written here, that is PM. You can see here, so 11 is not project manager. So let's line by line. So employee ID having 11, Zubair is not the project manager. So employee ID 12, Sham is the project manager for this Tanya having employee ID of 13, or you can say employee ID 13 Tanya is the project manager for Zubair. So Zubair is null here. So this column is also acting as the referential integrity constraint here, isn't it? So yes. So one simple question is here, that why we need the foreign key? Why we need the foreign key? So answer is that simply to reduce the redundancy, to keep our database as small as possible. Means you are saying if the relational integrity constraints are available in single table, why we are going to apply the foreign key then? The use of foreign key is that to reduce the redundancy of the table. How? Let's see with the example. So this is the activity entity type and this is the student entity type. These are the attribute of these activity entity type and these are the attribute of student entity type. So you can see here, these are the activity name and these are the activity date and these are the winner. So the once A1 activity is done on 1st of Jan, S1 is the winner. And A2 is the activity on 6 March, is S2 is winner. So for this S6 is the winner. Now how you can get, if I hide this, how you can get the details of them? So let's use these as a descriptive table here, as a this is the primary key, if this is the foreign key. Then to understood more, if I add one more activity in this, so A4 is the activity, previously this was not there. So A4 is the activity and again S6 is the winner. You can see here only 3 winners are and S6 is I have added. So if I want to add there, if I hide again this block and I want to add the details of them here, what is going to happen? The name of S1 we have to write here, name of S2 is we have to write here, address we have to write here, this we have to write here. So in the same manner, S6 name is written here and address is written here, again we have to return here. So you can see the repetition is going to occur if we are not apply the concept of foreign key. So in short, just to reduce the redundancy and to keep our database as small as possible, we are going to apply this kind of concept, that is foreign key. So I hope you exactly going to understand that what is referential integrity constraint, and referential integrity constraints are available in single table also. So why we apply the foreign key? That's I just explained to all of you, to reduce the redundancy of the database and to keep our database as small as possible. So these all constraints we are using during this is nothing but the referential integrity constraints. So referencing attribute, one thing is very important here is that referencing attribute must be the subset of referred attribute. As I just previously said that all the people is, if the people is in existence in the earth, then and then only we have to talk about him. Other than if we do not talk about him, it is fine. Means if it is null, it is fine, but don't talk about such persons, those are not in existence. This is the notion of this line. So as this is not existing in a primary key, so it should not be there in a foreign key. So this is the relational integrity constraints. So what is entity integrity constraint? We have studied in a database. Entity integrity constraint. Here we are learning referential integrity constraint. So have you remember entity integrity constraints? So what entity integrity constraints are going to say? The primary key never be the null. If the attribute is the primary key of any entity type, then that time it should not be null. This is the entity integrity constraint. This is such a small topic and very important topic. I just revised for all of you. So now let's move on to the second topic from our database management system syllabus, that is enterprise constraints. So today we have seen entity integrity constraint, referential integrity constraints, and third topic is enterprise constraints. So sometime referred to as semantic constraints. So these are the semantic one and are the additional rules specified by the user or database. Means user are going to apply some rule. So up till now what we have seen that everything will be capable by the in a CORDS rule. What we have seen that everything should be done by the database. But here some rules are going to be specified by the user. So even user can specify some rules, or database administrator can even be apply some rules on multiple tables. Let's see the examples. Here are some examples of the enterprise concept. I hope by reading the example you just clearly identify that what is enterprise concept. So these are the 4 examples. First example is a class can have the maximum of 30 students. This rule can vary. This can be applied by the database administrator or user on the database. Okay. So these are the enterprise constraints. Teacher can teach maximum 4 classes per semester. This is the concept. In another database, it may be in Tamil Nadu's college database, it may be the teacher can teach maximum 10 classes per semester. It may vary. This is the enterprise concept. An employee cannot take part in more than 5 projects. It is the enterprise concept. It decided by their own firm. Okay. So the salary of an employee cannot exceed the salary of the employee's manager. It is the constraint of their own. Okay, sometimes it may happen that the perfect employee don't want the manager position and he just incrementing his salary, and the employee manager is fresher, so he is getting minimum salary. So this is their own pack of box. So we don't want to look up into that. So such kind of constraints are called as enterprise constraints. Getting here, enterprise constraint should be present certain business rules that should be enforced at the level of DBMS. So enterprise constraints like user should not log into the system before accessing the data, and it is not the enterprise concept. So can you getting the point? Constraints like user should log in to the system before accessing the data. So this is not an enterprise concept. This is the database rule. Without login you can't access the data. This is the database rule. This is not the users or database administrators rule. Okay. So valid example is minimal customer age should be more than 18 years. Each order to could have maximum 10 items in it, etc. So these are the valid some examples, and previous 4 examples are also valid example for the enterprise constraints. We have used here word business rules. If you can see, we have used the words here business rule. Let's see what is business rule. Are obtained from the user when gathering the requirements, and the requirement gathering process is very important, and its result should be verified by the user before the database design is built. If the database rules are incorrect, the design will be incorrect, and ultimately the application built will not be function as expected by the user. Some examples of the business rules are: the teacher can teach many students, a class can have maximum 35 students, a course can be taught many times but by only one instructor, not all teachers teach the classes. So these kind of rules are the business rules, and I hope you understand in my video referential integrity constraint, what is entity type, what are the attributes, and even I told you what is entity integrity constraint also with the referential integrity constraints. And then enterprise concept we also learn from this video. I hope you got all the topics that I try to taught you. Thank you for watching the video.